You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to have you here as always. I've got a really juicy episode today about the craft of acting, more specifically about overlooked character tips. The reason I want to talk to you about this today is because I want you to bring edge to each role. I want you doing something different that other actors are doing, because when you don't, you fall into the trap of doing what every other actor is doing, and that stops you standing out, both at auditions and in your show reels. And it's important that in both of those, auditions and show reels, you are bringing that edge to the character, because these are your marketing materials, really, aren't they, as an actor? An audition is an opportunity for you to have a space in room and go, hi, this is what I can do. If you give me this role, this is the start of what I would do. And in a show reel, it's exactly the same. It's like, hey, look at me. These are my skills. This is my talent. These are the types of characters that I can play, and I play well, and you should be taking a chance on me. And for you to get to that point where you are confident enough to believe in yourself, where you believe you should be taking a chance on, you have to be working your craft. So we're going to be speaking specifically about one area of the craft that we can work on, which is a very overlooked area, but it's also one that a lot of actors struggle with. Before I go into it, I've been coaching actors for 13 years, and what I see actors of all levels doing, this is not just new actors, this is those who are regularly auditioning, those who are self-representing, those who have just got the first agents, those who are on the 10th agent. I see them trying to play the emotions through the words. What I want you to start thinking about, instead of doing that, is the idea that one sentence is one thought. So when you can start to find the inner thoughts of the character, then you can start making more interesting emotional choices, because emotions are the results of our thoughts, aren't they? So I'm not saying I don't want you to not play emotions and I don't want you to get rid of emotions. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, don't try and let the words influence the emotional state of the character. Instead, think about the thought process behind each sentence. So as I've said, one sentence equals one thought. So what is the thought process behind it? And then we can use a technique called actable verbs. This will stop you playing the scene on one level. When you start using actable verbs as part of your preparation, you will be able to then find the nuances and the peaks and troughs of the scene. So this is then going to stop you playing the scene the same way other actors are, because other actors will grab onto the most obvious emotion, and that's usually what the majority of actors are doing. They're grabbing onto the most obvious emotion, but it doesn't always make for the most interesting choice. So when it comes to actable verbs, a lot of actors I've coached who have come to me after having been to other acting classes have already been taught the idea of actable verbs. Now, if you don't know what they are, don't worry, I'm going to explain in a moment. But what they do is they come to me and they tell me, I don't like doing this. I don't like the exercise of actable verbs because it seems too intellectual, it's boring, and they'll still do it, but they're choosing actable verbs, which for anyone that's new to this, an actable verb is a doing word. And obviously that's important because acting is about action. So they'll do the exercise, but they're doing it just to do it rather than being inspired by the words. So finding actable verbs for each thought and each sentence is something we do as part of our character prep. We're doing this because we want to stimulate our imagination and inspiration. Now, the Latin word for inspire means to invite. So that's another way of saying we want to be inviting new ideas in. So we don't just want to get stuck playing the scene the same way we always play it when we get it up on its feet. We don't want to be playing it the same way every other actor is playing it. We want to be inviting in new ideas that fit within the given circumstances of the script and scene. Because it's with these new ideas that you'll make choices that help you stand out in the industry. Again, as I've already said, both in your auditions, when you get asked to do a self-tape, or when you get invited to an online audition or an in-person one, and also in your show reel as well. That's really important because that's going to be your biggest marketing material or biggest marketing tool that you're going to be using to get you called into those auditions. So everywhere that you are working, whether it's show reel, auditions, in your classes, you want to be practicing these actable verbs so they become second nature. Once you get the hang of them, they're actually very exciting. For me, when I use them, and it's one of the first things I do in my character preparation, it's one of the first things I get my acting students to do, is it makes us make clear choices. It makes us have clarity over the piece, because when it gets stuck on one level emotionally, there's no clarity. Clarity is important because it means it's clear. There's a journey, and characters are always going on journeys. So if you want to try out actable verbs, or you've done them in the past but you've got bored of them and you're just like, yeah, it's just one of those chorey exercises that I do but I don't really like it, or you're brand new to it and you're like, what? It's kind of making sense what you're saying but I feel like I need more. I would love to invite you into the Method Actors Circle. We will be going into a lot of depth with exercises like actable verbs, personalisation, which is another exercise, rampaging, sense memory, substitution, script analysis, and much, much more. This is all available to you inside the Method Actors Circle, which is a brand new exclusive monthly membership for ambitious, aspiring and unknown actors. And inside of the Method Actors Circle, you get monthly character development classes, which is where we'll be using these types of exercises, such as the actable verbs and the other ones that I've mentioned. And you also get something called the Audition Zone, which is a monthly audition class where you can bring to me any scripts that you're working on for self-tapes, online auditions, in-person auditions. You show me what you've done so far with the scene and I'll give you in-depth feedback, and then I'll coach you to make the scene even better. Now, if you don't have an audition coming up, you can just bring a piece that you want to practice on as if you've got an audition, so we could do a mock audition with you. If you ever can't make any of the classes live, they all get recorded anyway, so you can watch them at your leisure in your own time and still learn. You get weekly Q&As. You also get weekly motivation to keep you inspired and taking action on your acting goals and dreams. It is the best place for you to be right now to make sure you are getting those doors opened in the industry that you need opening, and that once they've been opened and you've got called into that audition with that big casting director, you are hooking them into your performances and you are giving engaging performances on your show reels. Because right now, for where you're at, you must put the craft first for long-term success. So as I'm recording this, we've still got the introduction price of £19 per month available, but it's only available for another 4 days. So come and join, come and check it out. The link is underneath the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.